Hey Woodturners, Captain Eddie here. I'm getting ready for a project, and like all projects, I do a few little steps. Number one, I check to see if the tool rest is good and clean and if it's free of bumps, dips, nicks, etc. And if I need to, take it over to the plate sander or the belt sander and dress it off, get rid of them. Yeah, I know you don't want to wear down your tool rest, but why put the marks on the tool rest on your piece, and you will if you do moving cuts. And the other is check the bed of the lathe. Make sure it's clean. I use a lot of CA for finish and a lot of other finishes too, and they tend to drip onto the bed of the lathe. So I make sure it's good and clean. And I found this thing. Oh, I wanted to show it to you, and I might have put it out the way. I might be able to find it another day to show you. I found it at Home Depot. It looks like a super scrubby. It's on a drill pad, and you put on your drill motor, and you'll clean the steel, but not remove steel. Now, I use one made by Wagner to clean the lathe, my bed of my lathe, because I had it for cleaning windows on a house, removing paint over there. And I found this other one. It worked really good. I've used it on a club lathe, and I like it. Found it in the painting section, or drill accessory section at your local home improvement center. How's that? Now, if you use a lot of exotic sealers and finishes, and you notice the carriage on your tool rest doesn't move as smooth, look underneath. Look at what slides steel to steel under here. Sometimes it drips and runs under, and all you have to do is take a sharp edge like a chisel or a scraper and just knock it right off. It's got not much to adhere to, so it won't adhere. Now, project today, a friend of mine gave me some wood. You guys always giving me wood. I have no problem with that. I mean, look here. Fella showed up last week to visit with me. He brought me some guava from Honduras. You think shipping it was here expensive? He went and got it for me. But guava, I've never turned guava. Interested to see what it's like. But this is what today's project is. Do you see the chatoyance in that piece of mahogany? I'm going to turn it a couple of times and see if the light will catch it. Yeah, you can see a little bit of it. Well, I'm going to turn a platter out of it. Yeah, this is a little bit over 12 inches across. I'm going to use a dinner plate for a pattern. We're going to turn a platter because I want to keep the center showing nice and flat for the chatoyance. But then the edge is going to need something, and that's another project. But first we got to do the platter. Now to hold that, I'm going to go over and put my woodworm screw in my one-way stronghold chuck. That's easy, right? Okay. Now, but the woodworm screw sticks out almost an inch. I don't want to drill an inch hole. If somebody could just come up with an idea of how to further this out so that we're, remember these, the patterns for cutting out boxes? Goes right there, takes up a quarter. If I need to, get out another one, takes up a half, but I only have a 1/4 inch left. So I want to go with the 1/2 inch sticking out and only take up the half, put this one back on the rack. This is 4 3/8. You know, I have these in multiple sizes for laying them out. I'm going to lock down my headstock. Now, when I lock down my headstock, I have to remember not to turn on the motor because I'll burn that belt. That'll cause a flat spot. Now, I've had this on here once today, prepping, checking it out. The hole here is about 5/8 of an inch deep. In a minute I'll give you all the stats. Okay. Now, that shim doesn't do anything more than keep the screw from going all the way through. Right? Right. Okay. This piece is 1 5/16 inch thick. So I've got a little room over here to play with to do my foot. Now, yes, follow along with me. This is now the foot. I'm going to shape this up. I'm going to put a receiver down here. My receiver is going to be the size of my number 3 jaws on my stronghold. Excuse me. Got a little wood in there. You know you're turning shavings when you got to spit them out. Okay, so now I'm going to build the receiver to fit that number 3. That'd be about the right size I want. It can be my number 2. That's kind of small. I'm going to leave this receiver in the bottom later and work around it to have the bottom of the bowl. So first thing, I turn it in. Now I'm free. I'm spinning. I'm very true here in this direction, so I know I'm chucked up right. Want to be safe. So when I get started, I'm going to have a tailstock up here. Why? Because I want to be safe. As often as I can, I want to be between centers. It's just a good move. Okay? So I'm going to check some measurements on my chuck, then we'll get to spinning. Right? This is where you say right. Right? In getting started, the size of the number 3 jaw is 4 3/4 inches. That'd be way out here. Now, I'm rubbing with this one, and I'm reading with that one. Why? Because you can't rub and read with both. So that's going to be the size of the foot I'm going to leave on this piece. In order to establish this, I'm going to mark it with a shop-made parting tool. Need about 1/4, 5/16 of an inch. Then I'm going to use my shop-made big square scraper. Now that's not the only way I would do this. See, and I catch some flack from you guys as to why do I do this. I would have brought in my Ellsworth and got some wood out the way. Running pretty smooth. Let's bring the RPMs up to about 1,000 RPMs. Okay, I'm going to move that out around. Let's put that foot on it now. You can see I'm on around. You're seeing the vibration I'm feeling. That scraper did a perfect job of giving me a receiver. Okay? Perfect job. Now, why don't I just use the carbide tools? That's the question you asked me. Well, because it's not the only way to turn. And I'm here to show you how to turn. I feel bad that sometimes I'm prostituting myself promoting my tools and stuff, but I'm here to show you how to turn. I want to make sure that corner is really clean. actually a little bit negative is a whole lot better than any positive. Now, so you follow along what I've done. I put a special adapter on my revolving center. This adapter goes from a 3/4 10 to a 33 millimeter that fits inside my chuck. These adapters are made for all the chuck sizes. If they make this adapter in the chuck, they make this one to go to it. Reason I'm doing that is now I can bring this up and open it up, and I will not be re-referencing my workpiece. When I open up into that, I will be the same center all over again. If I turned the outside and cleaned up the outside, I would be right on the money. But even more than that, I know I am in, tight, square, the whole works, and I don't have any gaps. And oh yeah, this opens up. So that's what I'm looking for, to hold my piece out here so I can finish it. Now, that's my bottom. This is going to be left over, and this is going up to the shoulder. I want to go ahead and shape this up right now. Remember the outer round we had? Well, when you stop jumping around, you'll be able to see that this is the outer round. I can use my carbide, 1/2-inch carbide to do that. I started without my shield on. Shield up! What's that mean? That means I'm not round. That means I'm round. Just so you know, 2 weeks ago I couldn't do any turning because I hurt my arm. So I came in and easily cleaned off some shelves and racking. I can't find anything. So you, the guy that told me you need to clean up stuff, you go clean up your shop. Up to 1,000. Now, let me go back to where we were. This is my 18 millimeter cutter. To do it, to make the cut I like to step back a little. I'll put my smock on while I tell you. Took it off to go in the house. Management's got this thing about shavings on the floor, on the toilet, on the chair, on the table, on the counter. But I think the most aggravates her is toilet. So, I want to make management mad. Alright, this is the 18 millimeter. When I got my bar, I put it down on my belt sander and I softened that lower left hand corner. That's all I did. Now, that lets me roll it up on that corner to a real smooth, soft, easy scrape. And if I get a little bit of a catch, it's going to turn. It's not going to dig in. That's my bottom. Now, I'm going to shape this up with a little bit of sandpaper. I found a piece in my pocket. Yeah, there we go. Whoa, it's like 3 bricks on a page. Hold up, got to get some better paper. But I missed my remote. Now to sand this out a little bit, I got some 180. This is Blue Flex and strips. I got it from Vince Welsh at Vince Wooden Wonders. If you can't find Vince or Vince's Wooden Wonders, just Google Vince Welsh Blue Flex. It'll come up. I'm not going to touch this edge of the face because when I flip it around, that's going to give me a little more control over what I want it to look like. Now this is a preliminary sand because we're going to go around and do something else on this piece a little bit later on. Second project. Okay, so we are sanding. Hey, can I say I changed my mind? Let's do a little more sanding on this. This is my sanding rig. Now, to make this rig, you put a bronze bushing down into the end of a rod. There is a rare earth magnet at the bottom of that. I was asked by one of the major manufacturers to remove the YouTube that showed you how to build this because it would put some people out of work. So I removed it. But you get the idea? I sell the bearing and the rare earth magnet together, almost a loss, and you can drill it, put it in there. You can put one here and one on an angle, and it works out perfect. I think I have one done that way. Yeah, here's the other one. One straight on, one on an angle. These are self-powered sanders. They work as good as anything else that's out there, and I'll sell you the part to build them yourself. Works on a bowl, many things. And if you want to have a lot of fun, take that out and put a burr, a single cut burr for doing embellishments. Somebody makes one of those and they got a really nice name to it. This scratched pretty easy a little while ago, so we're going to wet it, pull it back out. There's some distress. I like that. It's a nail hole. That'll stay. And we'll wet and see if some of this will rise a little bit before we turn it around. Now, I was talking about turning it around. This is what we're going to do. Open the jaws over here and remove the woodworm. Well, we're going to stop holding on to the woodworm screw. Got that? And we're going to pull this back. See how nice that is now? I'm still registered where I'm supposed to be. Registered in that the piece is round, just like it was when I was holding it from this end.